Hello and welcome to the Judo Way of Life. My name's David. I recently uploaded a video discussing my opinion on whether judo was dangerous or not, and based on the responses I've been getting on both YouTube and on Instagram, which is where I think I've received most of the comments regarding your thoughts and opinions, and I wanted to just add a little bit extra to what I was discussing. So if you haven't watched that video yet, it's called Is Judo Dangerous? I'll link it down below, and I'll also stick it in one of the corners. I always get this bit wrong, so somewhere up here. The short answer would be no, I do not think judo is dangerous, and I go on to explain why I think that based on my personal experience. And I think in the video actually I got it wrong. I said empirical evidence when actually I meant anecdotal evidence. So based on my experience, anecdotal evidence is pretty low form of evidence. I did ask if anyone had any research papers or any kind of actual hard evidence talking about injury rates in judo to leave in the comments below. And my main point really was that people are dangerous. The people doing judo are dangerous, not the judo itself. In terms of how we practice judo, learning breakfall, doing the ukemi, and these types of things to try and minimize the risk of injury. So a lot of the responses I got were related to basically people disagreeing with me, which is great, and I think that's, it allows us to have this kind of open dialogue. I replied to a lot of the comments, but I feel as though a lot of the comments that I was replying to basically said the same thing, talking about people trying to defend or not tapping out and getting injured that way, or getting thrown in, say, competitions, which are all arguments which I think support actually my argument that the people doing the judo are dangerous. If you don't break fall correctly, or you're trying to do a throw that you are not yet capable of doing, and so you end up doing it incorrectly, or you're not tapping out, which is ridiculous, not to tap from an armbar or a strangle, then that's the person being dangerous and reckless, and it's their choice to do so. And I suppose the same would be if you decide to defend a technique, and I get it. Do it on a competition and you want to win, you're gonna have to defend, but then you're putting yourself in a more likely position to be injured. Even just entering a competition is also putting yourself in a more likely position to be injured because of the nature of a competition. You're adding that element of wanting to defend because you want to win, and you're going to do things that you won't maybe necessarily do in training where there's less consequences. And again, though, that is a person's choice, and that is not the judo. That's not judo's fault. It's the person who's decided to put themselves into those positions that increases the likelihood of injury. Judo, again, I think can be practiced very safely. On the other thing, like picking a dojo, say, with a sprung floor. Now, I've been very fortunate that I've been able to train at a lot of judo clubs around the world, with many of which have had very nice sprung floors. Very fortunate here, where I am now, that the floor is, the mats are good mats, and it's elevated underneath sponge, which means it definitely takes the edge off being thrown. But I've over the years, I have definitely trained in some dojos. I've just been in sports hall floors, and then you do feel very sore when you come off. Right? All the break fall in the world doesn't really take away from the fact that you land on a mat that's on top of a hard wood floor or hard concrete floor or whatever the surface is in a sports hall. So that does take its toll. I get that. But again, I would put that down to personal choice. Either go and find a dojo that does have a sprung floor, or if you haven't got that, then it's still your choice to train and do judo. Like, it's not judo's fault, right? And I suppose that brings me to the point of this video, this follow-up video, about really whether the risk is worth it. And for me personally, yes, I think the risk is worth it. For me, it is a better of two evils. I choose to put myself in that risk. Now, I definitely would tap up. I'm not a hero type of thing. If someone's going to arm lock me, I will tap, and if someone's going to throw me, I will defend. Like, I've hurt myself in terms of the trying to defend throws. I'm probably injured myself at times trying to defend throws, which is and hold downs. I had a pretty bad injury once trying to escape from a hold down in training. I popped a ribber. So these things, but that was my choice. I took on the responsibility of that risk. That's not judo's fault. I could practice judo very safely. I could use crash mats all the time when throwing. I could do other things to make judo safer, right? Now, I choose to put myself at risk. And this is the next point, okay? Why? I think it is that risk which is the thing that excites me about doing judo. And I suppose that would go for any sport where people are putting themselves and they're pushing the boundaries, and it is the risk that excites them. And I think it's a very positive thing. But again, it is my decision, my responsibility. I've put myself in that position, not judo. If that makes sense, I hope that sort of makes sense. Like, it's not the judo that is the risky part of this. This is me and my choice point. So in my response to anyone that sort of commented, turning around and saying, what about competitions, what about these things, again, it's that the person has put themselves in that position to be more likely to end up injured. What was the other one? Overtraining. So I had a couple of friends who I've trained full time with over the years and travelled a lot around the world, training camps and doing competitions. Doing full time judo, and joking about having beat up bodies. And again, that was a personal choice. I chose to do judo as a full time athlete. I chose to overtrain. I chose to push my body past its physical limit because I wanted to achieve what I thought was a greater good, which was competition success, right? But that was my choice. Again, that's not judo's fault. I put myself in a higher likelihood of risking injury from overtraining because I wanted to, because I enjoyed training. I enjoyed training so much. I still do. I still enjoy training, and still put myself at risk of being hurt and injured, right? And that's my choice. And I don't think that is judo's fault, right? So I suppose you've got to ask yourself, right? Is the risk worth it? Is risking potential injury through doing Randori or through training in an environment that's not maybe the best environment in terms of landing and throwing repetitively, or doing competitions and potentially risking injury in competitions? Do you choose not to tap? Do you choose not to break fall or try and twist out of throws or do something that is going to significantly increase the chances of you getting hurt or injured? Is that risk worth the reward, whatever that reward may be? And that is the personal responsibility, not judo. And that's why I still maintain my opinion that judo is not dangerous. The people doing judo are dangerous based on the decisions that they make. Again, this is my opinion. It is based around my own experiences. So it is anecdotal evidence, not empirical evidence, as I previously suggested. I want empirical evidence. So like I said before, if you do have any research on this, please leave in the comments below. And if you have your own anecdotal evidence where you disagree with me or agree with me or whatever else, please share that below, and we can have that discussion. So always happy to learn. And like I said to someone in one of the comments, my experience of judo might change based on what happens in the future. That might shape my opinion, as my opinion has changed over the 25 years of doing this sport. And that's the beauty of an opinion, right? It can evolve and change and develop. I'm not saying that I am right. I am saying that this is what I think based on what I have experienced. And I hope some of you disagree with me, because that's what makes this all fun, and sharing our perspectives and knowledge and ideas. So it makes it great. So appreciate you taking the time to watch the past video. If you did watch that one, if you haven't, go and check it out. Appreciate you listening to me waffle on again with this video. And yeah, I mean, keep training, train hard, throw hard. That's if you want to take on the risk and the responsibility of doing so, of course. All right. As always, you can find us on Instagram at the Judo Way of Life, where I post delightful, just throwing videos. I mean, you don't really do much to sort of help in terms of expand the knowledge of judo, but maybe fun to watch or something. Obviously, you've got the YouTube, so do the thing, so you stay up to date. We've also got the website, thejudowayoflife.com, where I've got the full the Gokyo no Waza library for free on there, so go and check it out. And great for if you just want to expand your knowledge of judo, different throws, or you want to, you've got grading coming up, you need to learn some of the throws for that. All throws are demonstrated left and right. Being interrupted by Daniel Bruce. There he is. What a, yeah. Alright, oh good. Until next time. See you later, guys.